there's a part in the course of course, where we're talking about them connecting to their core values. As you all already know, we won't develop their core values. For the most part, they're either going to show up with them or not. But what we want them to know is to be cognizant of the core values, that they have them. What did your parents teach you? What did you learn in church, or what did you learn in school? Certain values, like let's say that you learn to value having your friends back. When something goes down, you step in and try to help them because you have their back. Because that's something that your parents or your team or something that your coach drilled into you. That you got to have your teammates, your families, your friends back. So what we want to do is help them raise some of these values to front and center, so that they understand that when they make decisions, for instance, a lot of these decisions will be made based on core values. So let's take a scenario. We also, by the way, in talking about decision making, when we talk to teenagers, we don't just talk to them about these big, massive decisions that they have to make about their life. We talk about the micro decisions. The decision to grab the keys, and here's now I'm combining these two values, the decision to say, I got to have my friends back. I'm snatching them keys away from her or him, and they will not get them because they've been drinking. You see, so that's making a decision, connecting it to a core value. So the idea is not so much to teach them values, but to help them understand values can guide you.
And how important are these values when you're discussing this in the program to how they show up in work or in the college setting, or like how important is it from your point of view that these kids have a certain set of values and that they know them before they even arrive at their job or in their seat in college?
That's a good question. I think that when you interact with people, that they ought to know that you have values. Again, I'll reflect back on both of my daughters. One of the things that we taught them growing up is to, I always say things like, care, but don't care too much. So in other words, care what people think about you, care what people think about your reputation, but don't care to the degree that you're just going to go down some dark hole with them. You see, know where you draw the lines. Well, that's a values-oriented thing. I would also say, though, that for instance, with both of them in their work, we wanted them to value humility, but at the same time being able, and I'll say this, I'm raised two daughters, so I believe in girl power. I would teach them to stand up for themselves. So on the one hand, when you're negotiating with your boss, you on the one hand, you recognize you're young, you maybe don't have any experience, really not much leverage to negotiate with. But at the same time, if you know that, let's say, the average server or the average person is making X, $8 or $9 an hour, and this person brings to you $5 an hour, just as an example, well, that's a place where you step up. And so you can still do that humbly by saying, listen, I know that I don't have a lot of experience, but I also know what I bring to the table here. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And so you're kind of, I think to get that kind of respect, and to get employers, if you will, to respect you, even as a young person, that you have to bring these things to the table. You just have to do it right. But that then combines another part of the program that we talk about, and that is your presence, your personality, your ability to communicate, your ability to control your emotions, even your positive emotions. Don't get overly excited about something, you see. These are the sort of things that